All right, everybody, come on in. We are live. It's time for Wednesday's live car Q&A. Come on in and tag a friend. Come on in and tag a friend. Don't just save money by yourself, but tell everybody you know, because people can't save money unless you point them to the things you know. And if you know me, then you are certainly somebody who's committed to saving money. So come on in, get your questions ready. Um, we will be going live. I'm going live on several platforms. So give me a second to get TikTok going, get Instagram going, and to get Facebook going, and get your questions ready. We're taking questions from all. I see you, church boy. Good to see you. Let's go. See, I like when people are excited about saving money. I like when people are excited about their money, committed to protecting their money. Give me, as you come on in, give me ones in the chat if you are absolutely committed to saving and watching your money, because I am. Just starting my lease journey. Okay, I see you. I see you. We're gonna talk a lot about that. We'll be on here for about an hour. If you got 10 minutes to spend, well, you're up early. Start posting your questions while I get us up on these other platforms, and we'll go from there. All right, we're up on Instagram. We're up on Facebook. Come on in. I love when people are excited about their money, because here's the bad part. It's a couple people that are excited about taking your money. So we got to be as excited about learning how to protect our money as those people are about taking our money. Come on in. All right, so it looks like we're live on all platforms. Y'all can see we got TikTok, we got Instagram, we got YouTube, and we got Facebook. Come on in, tag a friend that you care about, because you don't want them to be mad at you when they find out that you've been using these strategies, saving all this money while they've been out here overpaying. All right. Okay. Everybody here, how's audio? Give me clear. Give me clear. The other day I was talking and it was one platform that couldn't hear me. So are we clear on all platforms? Audio's clear? All right. Thank you, Tikia. All right. Hold on. Okay. Housekeeping. Some of you know I'm an author. It's my second book. Both are 5 stars. Not available on Amazon. But while we're on this broadcast, my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, you can get it for 75% off. It's in my TikTok bio. It's in my Instagram bio. And I'm going to put a banner up on here on YouTube and Facebook. You guys could go to DeShawn'sBook.com. A couple people missed it. They were saying, Deshawn, it shows $97. That means you missed it. Look, $97 is still going to be worth it, but $24 is even better, right? Comment $ if you like $24 better than 97. Again, we care about every dollar. So while we're here, you'll see there's a 30-minute countdown, but start posting your questions. Start posting your questions and let's get busy. All right. So first, this one's from Facebook. Question: how does the credit being run multiple times for 30 days work? This is a good one, y'all. We call this the bank bidding war. Some of you may not know. I see y'all like running the likes up on TikTok. Keep tapping the screen. Thank you. Some of you may not know that you can let a lot of people run your credit, but you got to do it right. It'll weigh on your credit as one hard inquiry, and you don't do it until after you find your car. Once you find your car, that's when you come home, you call your bank or you go online to your bank, credit union. You go to some online banks like Lightstream, like Community Credit Union, anybody. You could literally Google bank auto loans online. The reason this doesn't work for most people is because those banks need you to have a car. And if you don't have a car, then they can't give you an offer. But at that point, you would have a car. Now, the way the window works is if you do this right, this will take you 2 days of having all these people run your credit, and it'll weigh on your credit as one hard inquiry, and you'll guarantee you got the best rate. Once you get the best rate from them, you call the dealer who has the car on hold for you and you give them the rate. You say, hey, look, I got 6.99 from such and such. Now you let that dealer go to work and see if any of his or her 10 to 12 banks can beat that rate. Then you snatch your best rate. Works every time. Beautiful. All right, let's go. More questions. I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. This one's TikTok. Hold on. Wait, I don't see one on TikTok yet. Oh, that's because there's too many daggone people on here. Y'all crazy on TikTok. All right, hold on. Type your questions, TikTok. Let's go to Instagram. Hold on. Is that a picture of Lucille Ball? We talking about cars. Yes, it's a picture of Lucille Ball, though. Yes, it is. All right, hold on. Type your questions, y'all. I see people just want to tune in and hear other people. And here's what I'll tell y'all about these lives. Someone's going to ask the same question as you. So if you stay on long enough, you're going to say, oh, that's the same question I wanted to ask. All right, let's keep it going, though. After getting pre-approved from my local, type your question in one comment. We can't do continuations. All right, Omar, when you say you let the dealer go to work for the best rates, that means their lenders will run your credit too. That's absolutely right, Omar. Absolutely right. You can let all these people run your credit, and at the end of the window, when it closes, you'll see the effects of on your credit score is the same as one hard inquiry. That's called rate shopping. Okay, if you do it like I just told you to do it, every time it works. And not only that, you'll see how many the rates on these from these banks and credit unions are different. You need to guarantee you got the best one. That means you guaranteed you pay the least amount of interest. All right, I got my book. All right, enjoy it. And make sure you send me your success story. Please make sure you tell me your, hold on. I gotta make this print bigger because I cannot see y'all on TikTok. Then in December and January, best time to buy a car? There's no best time to buy a car. Best time to buy a car is the worst time to buy a car is when you need one. But as long as you're getting multiple offers, that's okay. You might say, Deshaun, I only got 3 days. You must learn, get multiple offers. Get multiple offers. But there is no best time. Here's why. What y'all have been, see, there's people who programmed you to think that there's a best time. Why? So they can load the dealerships up. Imagine having a business, right, where decades and decades of marketing trains your customers to come in at a certain time. Wouldn't that be a good business? Like imagine you own a pizza shop and just the history of pizza shop teaches people come on in at the end. You know, every month at the end of the month, you're getting a ton of customers. It's a marketing ploy. On top of that, dealers make the best deals when they're desperate. And that's not to say they're desperate like we're going out of business. That's to say, hey, I'm trying to hit my numbers, or hey, you know what, I haven't sold a car this week, or hey, there's nobody that came into the dealership today, or we've had a dead week. That typically happens first, second week of the month. So if you're trying to predict this and say, oh, I'm gonna wait for the end, some people say, oh, well, dealers are trying to make their numbers. Just so y'all know, it's not a magical thing. Every dealer doesn't wait till the end of the month to hit their numbers. It's marketing. So you take, like, out of all the dealers, everybody just magically doesn't hit their numbers until the last day of the month. No, it's not the way it works. It's marketing. And that dealer that gets your inquiry, gets your phone call, gets your email, and on the 12th of the month, and they look around and they see they haven't sold a car, oh, they want that. Listen, anything that we can do to sell a car, we're gonna do, because we are way behind. There's deals, most dealers, they track to hit their numbers. They don't wait till the end. They can see, yo, we need to make sure we're doing enough deals on the 10th of the month to be tracking to hit our numbers. So that end of the month stuff, don't believe it. You might make your best deal on the 13th of the month. But always get multiple offers. That's how we guarantee the best deal. All right. Best time is right now. Skinner, you shout out. All right, let's go. What's the best way to negotiate a trade-in? Great question. Don't trade. Here's the word that I want y'all to eliminate from your vocabulary. Okay? Trade. Let me ask y'all a question. When have you gotten the most money something was worth trading it? Honestly. When have you gotten the most money something is worth trading it? Never. Right? Like if you say, hey, I'll trade you my bike for your whatever, your lawnmower. Are you getting the most money you could get for the bike? No. Trade always means I'm leaving a little money on the table. So here's how you don't do that. You're going to do something I call an equity assessment. My book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. So if you hate car shopping, just type a H. We don't have to type the word hate, a lot of energy there. But we know it's people that hate car shopping. We ain't got to sugarcoat that. The book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealership. Now, this 7-step system is an A to Z, and it's a step-by-step, and it's a certain order. Now, step 2 is when we do the equity assessment. This is going to tell us if we have positive equity or negative equity. This is going to tell us if you have a lease. Be honest, who didn't know that you could sell a lease? Type a question mark. If you did not know that you could sell a lease, type a question mark. This is the equity assessment process. So it looks different depending on if you're leasing versus if you own. The equity assessment is where you call your bank and you find out your payoff. That's the amount you owe. Now, once you find out how much you owe, you're then going to go to the online buyers and get cash offers. These are people who pay the most for cars. Everything you're going to do from now on, if you do it my way, is going to be a bidding system. Bids make sure you never overpay. Bids make sure you pay the least no matter what. You get the lowest offer in the market. You're going to go to the online car buyers, CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, not kellysbluebook.com. Because the benefit we have with cars is we can get cash offers. We don't depend on an algorithm to tell us what our car is worth, and then they send you into the dealership to try to fight for it. Here, Terrence, your car is worth $18,000. Now go fight for it. Bids. Terrence, your car, we're willing to pay you $18,200. Hey, CarMax, we're willing to pay you $19,100. That's a huge advantage we have with cars that we don't have with houses. So that's the start. That's what you want to do to start. If you're like Deshaun, who has a car right now that they're thinking about getting out of, that you owe money on? If it's paid off, even better, because you could get all those offers. There's no loan. Whatever it's worth is cash in your pocket. But if you have a car now and you're thinking about getting out, okay, I see you, Kimberly. Here's what you do. The first thing you do is the equity assessment, because you need to find out what your position is in that car. Are you in a positive equity position or are you in a negative equity position? We can't do anything until we find out what we're going to do from there. Okay? So for all of you who just joined, everything you're going to see, look, here's my philosophy, y'all. Y'all see I make these social media videos. Thank God. I appreciate y'all sharing, watching. We up to over 2 million followers. We got 1.5 million on TikTok. We up to 300,000. We just hit 300,000 yesterday on Facebook. We just hit 280,000 on Instagram, and we're like 140,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I can't see your DMs. The best thing for y'all to do is just watch my free videos. I don't hold back, or come to these lives. Or if you like Deshaun, what's the quickest way I could get everything and I don't have to worry about wasting time? You could go get my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, in my TikTok bio. You won't need a broadcast. Just click the picture of me, click that link, and for the next 30 minutes, it's 75% off. That's part of my launch. I didn't want to just launch it full price. We're launching 75% off. And you can type, if you go to goodreads.com, you'll see we're already rated 4.94. That's great. So, all right, let's go. Keep the questions coming. If I bought an extended warranty, this one's from TikTok. We're going to rotate through all the platforms, so just keep the questions coming. If I bought an extended warranty, does that come off my payoff amount if I don't use it? Great question. Some of you may have that question. Kenny bought an extended warranty. He's asking, will that come when he calls to find out how much he owes? Will that come off his payoff? Now, probably not if you built it into the loan. But here's what you can do. You can call the extended warranty company If you haven't filed the claim and if you haven't used it, then you can cancel it. They'll charge you a small cancellation fee, usually very small, and then you can get a refund for the unused portion. You could do that with extended warranties. You can do that with tire and wheel warranties, as long as you haven't filed a bunch of claims that have exceeded the value, the amount you paid. All right. So anything you haven't used, you are entitled to a prorated refund. Okay, let's go. Can I sell a finance vehicle? Great question, Teresa. That's a great question. This one's from Facebook. I used to have people when I was at this. Some of you know that I worked for Mercedes-Benz for 5 years. I worked with General Motors for 5 years. I would have people that would walk in and say, "All right, Deshaun, is that the new one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the 20 whatever." He's like, "All right, I got 4 payments left, and then I'm coming in. I'm gonna get. I want to talk to you about that." That's a person who thought that they had to pay off their car before they could get a new one. You don't have to, y'all. You can actually replace your car. And here's what I want you to know. If you're in the business of changing cars and you're not keeping them 8 years, you're overspending because you're not shopping for aggressive lease deals. I know some of you that just sent a little, like, you got a little anxious there because you were taught for years. Be honest, who was taught never lease a car? Who was taught never lease a car? I'm the guy look, my favorite subject in school was math. I'm a math person. I don't get into the emotions. I've done the math, not to mention I've been in the business for 14 years. Leasing is for people who don't keep their cars 8 years. Here's why. Here's the value of your car. You see the way my arm is? That's the value of your car the first 6 to 7 years. It's going down. It's really like this. It's going down. But there's a point in time where you keep it long enough and it starts to go like this. Who has a car outside that they've had in their driveway for at least 9 or 10 years? In a car outside that you've had for at least 9 or 10 years. Who has, okay, I see you, Helly. Okay, I see you, Beauty. Everybody who has a car outside that you've had in your driveway for at least 9 or 10 years. Look, essentially Yvonne said 13 years. Okay, 12 years, Tony. Okay, look, car I'm driving now, 16 years. All right, check this out. This is the depreciation curve. This is why those of you who are not keeping 8 years, you don't realize you're not a long-term person. That's short-term. And you're losing the most value in that period of time, but then it cools off. Y'all notice anybody who's had a car outside for 9, 10 years, the value of that car is about the same as it was a year ago, right? Value hasn't changed much, right? That's because you outlived the depreciation. That's where you want to get to when you're purchasing. Now, some of you are like, Deshaun, I'm not keeping the car that long. Then you should be shopping for aggressive lease deals. If you're not, and when I say aggressive lease deals, ignore commercials. When you see Deshaun, the car I want, it says I could lease, but I need all this money down. Nope. You could get any car with no money down as long as you have the credit. And even some of you who credit is not perfect, you can get most cars with no money down. The only 2 people that can't get no money down cars is if your credit is too bad right now, or if you're trying to borrow too much. So you might have a lot of negative equity and you're trying to transfer it, the bank won't approve it because it blows out the loan to value. But you have to know, if you are not buying your cars to keep and outlive that depreciation, you've lost money. And I'm the person who's going to tell you it's time to stop. I don't care what you were taught. If you spend enough time with me, I'll prove it to you. But that's just the facts. We have people that are driving leases, and some people say, and then keep the questions coming. Some people say, oh, leasing is renting. That's ridiculous. Renting a car is hundreds of dollars per day in most cases. Leasing a car is pennies on the dollar compared to purchasing when you get a great lease deal. Like this is Greg. Greg, he used our system, 7 steps. He got a Kia SUV, $56,000 SUV that would normally be about $1,200, that'd be about $1,100 a month. Every $5,000, y'all know, is about $100 a month. If you've seen my videos or if you've been on here, he's paying $567. I'm gonna put it up on here. If you're on YouTube, you can see this. If you're on Facebook, you can see this. This is Greg's lease. He's paying five. I'm sorry, I'm wrong, y'all. $527. So he got the $7,500 electric car rebate, plus he got a discount from the dealer, and he got it shopping online. What I'm telling y'all is, if you're not leasing and you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you're losing tons of money. And so let's stop it, okay? And any questions y'all want to ask me about that, feel free. But we got to break this old bad advice that we've been listening to from people who don't know what they're talking about when it comes to cars. All right, let's go. What about a 650 score? Can I lease? Lucas, if you got a good profile, if you got a good, see, what I always say, y'all, it's not just about score, it's profile. If you have a paid car, if you have a car payment you've been paying and it's been on time the last 2 years, that's a real good indicator. Even if you have some things that are not perfect, the bank looks at, do they pay their car? And especially Mercedes. I remember when I was with Mercedes, we'd have people call me and say, Deshaun, my credit's not where it was when I leased my last Mercedes or when I got my last one. You think they'll approve me? I said, listen, how'd you pay the car? Oh, I never missed a payment. They're going to approve you. That's just the way Mercedes was. But many banks look at that. So even if you're not a 700, 750, 800, if you've paid your car on time the last couple years, you're usually good. And that's a profile thing, not just a score thing. Now, what I tell you all, go follow Shonda Martin, use her credit stuff, and get your credit score up because she's just a genius. Shonda Martin, she's on all these platforms. Get your credit up. But if you're not ready to lease, then get ready to lease. If I couldn't qualify for a lease, the only thing I would be doing is trying to set myself up to qualify for a lease because I'm not a long-term person. I appreciate it. Thanks for the gifts on TikTok. I appreciate everybody. All right, going to a dealer now. This one's from Facebook. We cycling all through questions. All right, and if you've visited that site and you saw that timer start for my book, this is the official release of my digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. Once that timer is at 0, it's 75% off for our launch. I wanted to make sure that I don't want any excuse. If you're like Deshaun, I know what you sound like you know what you're talking about. I want everything you teach in one spot, step by step. Then go get the book for 75% off. It'll be in your inbox. And some people say, Deshaun, do you print a book? I didn't want to print a book because things change too fast in this industry. I'm teaching y'all how to car shop from home, online, and stay in control. We're using specific websites. You're using specific scripts that I wrote. Anything that I change, if you bought a book from me, yeah, it'll work today. But then when your family member's ready to use it 6 months from now, something changes, and you're like, Deshaun, this website doesn't work anymore. So with a digital book, I update that thing, and you'll have free updates. So anytime you open it, you can open it a year from now. It's going to be relevant. So you get updates with a digital book that I can't do with a print book. So go grab your copy. Let's keep the questions coming. Okay, Shonda Martin is the real deal. Yes, she is. Hold on. You got to type your questions all in one shot. We can't do broken up questions. Oh, I see your book. Thank you. Enjoy it. Hey, I'm just joining. Can you help personally lead? I don't know what that means. Type all your questions in a complete thing. Should I lease if I drive 20,000 miles per month? That's a great question. Super high mileage driving. Now, did you mean 20,000 per month or did you mean 20,000 per year? Just type month or year so I could be clear before I answer this. 20,000 per month or 20,000 per year? Let me know, because this is a good question either way. Per month. Okay. No, you shouldn't. Anybody who's on here, if you're doing Uber, Lyft, or anything where the goal, the more successful you are, the more mileage you put on the car. Here's what I mean by that. If I did 20,000 miles this year, I might have did okay doing Uber. if I did 40,000 miles this year, I might, and now you might have a fleet of vehicles. You might be doing Turo. The thing is, the goal is the more mileage that's on that car, the better year we have. Does that make sense? Type a $ if you understand. Then you don't want to lease because you can't predict the mileage. So what you want to do, here's what's very important for you to understand, y'all, because nobody loses money like you guys. Because you take 5 or 6 year loans, which give you a lower payment, but then you depreciate. Remember that look, so check this out. If that depreciation curve looks like this for most people on here, it goes down like this. Here's your depreciation curve, driving 20,000 a month, destroying the value of the vehicle very quickly. Now, here's what you can't do. You can't say, I'm going to destroy the value of the vehicle, but my loan is going to be the same length as a person who drives normal miles. What you end up doing is you come back to replace your car and you have $15,000 of negative equity. So what you've done from a business standpoint, you just pushed all your losses to the back. So during the months, it looks good. You're like, oh, had a good month. We're making money every month. But then when you go to replace the car, here comes all the losses. So what you do is you adjust your loan so that you have to ask yourself this. Everybody on here, you're going to start treating car buying with a little bit more longer view. See, that's why that depreciation curve, that 8-year outlook, is going to be your anchor for leasing versus buying. If you are buying a car and you're going to put super high miles on it for a business, you got to ask yourself, when do I want to replace the car? So if you're doing 20,000 a month, you're talking 120,000 a year. You ask yourself, when am I going to replace it? You might say, I'm going to replace it in 2 years. You might say, I'm going to replace it in 3 years. That's what your loan should be. Whenever you say, I'm going to replace it, that's the loan you take. Now, yes, the monthly payment's a little bit higher, but here's what you're going to do. No negative equity. So don't be penny wise. It's called penny wise, dollar foolish. I'm going to make $150 extra per month, but then my negative equity is at the end. No, I'll pay the extra in a shorter loan. And then when I go and switch my cars, I got no baggage. In fact, even if my car has 300,000 miles, it's still worth a little something. So I might get $3,000. I could use that as a down payment, or I sell it, put it in my bank account. That's what you do. High mileage drivers, if you do that, and super high mileage, I'm not talking about people who drive 20,000, 30,000 per year. That brother said he drives 20,000 a month. When you're doing Uber, all of that stuff, you got to have a specific strategy, and that's the one. Use that. All right, let's keep it coming. Larry, new subscriber here. Welcome to the family. Appreciate you. How to understand the final paperwork, those pink and yellow forms. It feels like the numbers be manipulated. Can make a line by line video. Any good advice on who to buy? Okay, ask one question at a time. If you've shopped from home, then those numbers where what I teach you is to shop from home. So the numbers that you're seeing should match what you've agreed to by email. When you're talking to a dealer, you're always asking them, and this is all in my book. Everything I teach you is in my book. You can have it in one spot. It's also in my free videos. If you want to look through 30, 40 videos and try to find the ones that work for you, do it. God bless you. But every number that you talked about with a person by phone or by email should match the contract. So, but if you're negotiating inside dealers, it's going to be hard for you to see. That's why, here's the rule of thumb, y'all. Never talk numbers inside a dealership. Y'all remember that? You never talk numbers inside a dealership. You figure out what you want. If you're shopping for a used car, you should be shopping online. You should know you have a deal before you ever visit that dealership. And if you are shopping for a brand new car or a lease, then you should know you have a deal before you ever visit that dealership. Okay? This is important. Let other people with no strategy waste their time. You move different. Okay? In order to do, if you want different results, you want to pay less than everyone, you have to move different than most people are moving. Okay? Let's go. Keep the questions coming in. Sorry, I wrote that wrong. Do you offer one-on-one help with leasing, or is everything in your book? Everything's in the book. You want to lease? It's in there. You want to sell your lease? I asked a couple minutes ago who didn't know they could sell a lease. A lot of you said, oh, I didn't know that. Some people said I didn't know I could sell a car if I still had, some people were taught, yo, you got to wait for that title to come in. No, you don't. And so some people say, Deshaun, I figured out I should be leasing. Should I wait until I pay off my car and then switch to a lease? Nope, there's no benefit. You get out of that structure, get into a structure that works for you. And if you're not keeping your car 8 years, then you should be in a lease. As I said a little while ago, if you can't qualify for a lease, you should be setting yourself up to qualify for a lease. Because when you see these cars you drive, when you get good leases, you're going to be like, dag, I should have been doing this 10, 15 years ago. All right. Only if you're short term, if you're not keeping 8 years. All right, let's go. Keep them coming. Let's go to Instagram. Let's go. Keep typing your questions. Can you get a good deal without a down payment? Oh, good question. Type a $ if you like that question. She said, can you get a good deal without a down payment? 100%. In fact, I would tell you guys that when they work your deals for you, they're actually adding a down payment so that you can't really focus on the price you're paying for the car. That's what they're doing in most cases. That's why everything you'll learn from me is you always shop your offers with no money down. You can put money down, but in order for you to clearly see what someone's offering you, you have to see it with no money down. See, when you put 10 grand down, it mixes things up. You're not really focused on what you paid for the car. How much discount did you give me? You're not focused on that. From now on, what you're going to do is you're going to shop every offer, whether you're purchasing, leasing, it's all going to start with no money down. And here's what we decide. Once we get our deals and we look at them and we say, okay, I shopped all my offers. I'm picking this one. This is the best. Y'all going to learn that I teach a bidding system. If this is how you get great deals if you're not a good negotiator. Be honest. Who's not a good negotiator on here? You just be honest. You don't like confrontation. Maybe you're an introvert. Maybe you're just like, it's just not my thing. If you are not a good negotiator, what I'm about to tell you is going to be what empowers you. Okay. So lots of you, not a good negotiator. When you start making people negotiate with each other, which is called a bid, you don't have to be. You're going to save more money than those who are going in to negotiate. I'll give you an example. When you walk into the grocery store, you say, I need some spaghetti sauce. How many brands are competing? Lots of them, right? If you wanted to buy a TV, I guarantee I could tell any of you on here, hey, I need an 80-inch TV. Nobody on here is going to overpay. Why? Because you already know what you're going to do. I'm going to look at this website. I'm going to look at this website. Nobody on here is going to walk into one store and say, all right, what's your price on an 80-inch TV? $1,500. What? Come on. Could you do 13? This is at $1,500. That sounds kind of high. No. We do the same thing with cars. We sit at home. We get multiple offers. People bid. And when people bid, this is how you get the best deals when you're a horrible negotiator. You'll be sitting at home, these people don't even know, but you're seeing so many offers and these dealers are actually competing with each other. So we get off everything. That's how we get everything. That's how we do it for our loans. We talked about the bank bidding war earlier. We do it with a car we buy and we do it with a car we sell. When we sell our leases, always a bid, always get multiple offers. Okay? That is what I teach. This isn't like, oh, I hope this will work. That's like saying, oh, I hope looking online for that 80-inch TV will work. No, it's just what they programmed you to do is walk into one store, they programmed you to walk into, Schneider Electric, who sells TVs, and say, hey, you got an 80-inch? All right, 50, and go back and forth with Schneider. No, you come home and you look at all the people who have 80 inches and you're like, so y'all see what I'm saying? It's the way you've been taught, and the way they taught you benefited them. If I could keep you just talking to me, hey, no, don't go. How many people you felt it, right? The dealer doesn't want to let you leave. You're like, hey, you know what? Let me go think about. Hey, listen, what can I do? What if I take off this? What if I take off? What the goal is don't leave. Because the worst thing that I could let you do is look at some other prices, and then you're going to realize how overpriced I was. So that's what it is. That's my son. And the 7 steps I teach in my digital book, that's what it's all about. Mastering the science of shopping multiple offers. Works for everybody. Look, I'm a couponer. I never pay regular price. I like saving money. Listen, anybody who likes saving money, me and you are going to get along. You know. So yes, every deal. This goes back to the question: could you get a good deal without a down payment? You are shopping all your offers with no money down, and then here's what down payment is, y'all. Payment management. This is all in my book. If you want it at 75% off, it's only 75% off for 30 minutes. Once that timer goes down, you click the website in my TikTok bio, you'll see that timer. If it goes down to 0, it's $97. Listen, if you care about your money, 24 is better than 97. So that's what down payments are. Payment management. They don't get you a deal. So when you look at your payment and you like, man, this person really is giving me a great deal on this car. They took off a lot of money. They beat everybody else, but the payment's a little higher than I like. That's when we apply down payments. That's the only purpose. That's it. So when you say get good lease offers with first month's payment, taxes and fees included, are those totals? This one's from YouTube. Are those totals or are those fees spread over the life of the lease? So we always get our lease offers with only first month's payment. And here's the thing. There's a word that I want y'all to, another word. It's a couple words that we're going to, who remembers the first word that we're eliminating? Let's see who was with us from the beginning of the broadcast. And then y'all could actually tell the people who didn't get, who remembers the first word we eliminate from our vocabulary? I don't want y'all to use it ever again. We talked about this early in the live today. Oh, Miss Lady T, click that picture of me, and then you'll see a website there. Go to that. That's my website. You'll see a button that says "Get my new book 75% off." Click that. You can grab your book, and you won't leave the broadcast. Instagram, you will leave the broadcast for 2 minutes, 3 minutes while you get the book, but then come on back, and we can. Yes, you got it, Spiceberg. Trade. Spice Beige, my fault. Send me a DM. I like that you're paying attention. Send me a DM here on TikTok. I'm going to give you a free copy. I'm going to gift you a free copy because you're locked in. And I just love people that are locked in. So send me a DM. And matter of fact, Miss Lady JJ, she actually said it before you. Both of y'all, send me a DM. I'll give you both a copy. Trade, because we get bids. You can't trade a car and get bids. So the second word we're going to eliminate from our vocabulary is down payment, money down. We're going to start using terms like total out of pocket. Here's why. Who's ever told a dealer, I want to put $2,000 down or $1,000 down. And then when you go in to do the paperwork, or when you later on, they ask you about, well, what about the taxes? Are you going to pay those up front? Yada, yada. And sometimes they'll let you go all into the finance office. You think, all right, we got the deal done. It's $2,000 down, $470 a month. And you're walking into the finance office and then they're like, okay, so how are you going to pay the taxes? Right? That is because our language wasn't clear enough. When we want to start using the term total out of pocket. So when we're shopping for our leases, we are always telling the dealer first month's total out of pocket. That's how you give me the offer. And then all the taxes, all the fees, you put that into the monthly payment. Then I could judge the lease offer. I'm going to see, is it a 1% lease, which is a steal? You're not going to get a 1% lease usually without bids. So, you're not going to get the best price without bids. But if it's a 1% lease, it's a steal. That means your monthly payment is 1% of the MSRP or less. If it's between 1% and 1.5, that's a good deal. That's great value. You're paying pennies on it. You're driving cars for thousands less than people who are buying them. You got a quality deal. Great deal. Get it up out of there. If it's over 1.5%, we say no to those. That's a bad lease program. There are some bad lease programs, and there's people. See, you know who bad lease programs were made for? When the dealer calls Mr. Johnson, who's so loyal, he doesn't realize the money that he's paying. Hey, Mr. Johnson, come on. Hey, it's Charlie over here at such and such, Subaru. Listen, Mr. Johnson, I can get you out of your lease early. Who has dealers saying, hey, call, I'll get you out of your lease early? This is how those conversations go sometimes. Thing about it is, the payment goes up a little bit, but they do this a lot with luxury vehicles because they cater to ego. Come on, you've been driving this car for how many Subarus have you had? 5? I mean, you can't, you can't switch. That's what they're basically saying. All through the pandemic, those were the calls you were getting. Payment went up $150, $200, $300, but come on, you always drove a Mercedes. So they didn't realize that the price I'm paying for my lease is too much. Which means, how do we know it's too much, Deshaun? You know it's too much because you're paying too much for a car you're giving back to them in 3 years. When you add up all the payments, you'll see, Dad, the car was $40,000. I paid $27,000. You paid too much for a vehicle you're giving back, which eliminated the benefit of leasing. So that's how we do it. First month's payment, total out of pocket, and all the fees go into the lease. That's how we get our lease offers. All right, my question is too long to put in the comment section. Go over to YouTube. If you got YouTube, type in Deshaun Auto Advisor, join the live over here, or Facebook. You can type longer questions. All right, let's go. So that one was from Instagram. Let's keep the questions coming. What about luxury brands? Which is a good percentage? Doesn't change. Doesn't change. I don't care if you're buying exotic. Ferrari, percentages don't change. That's the good thing about principles, percentages, boundaries. These things are rules. Doesn't matter. You can put a Bentley in there. Look, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, or if you're watching this rebroadcast, look, I'm sure you Kimberly. Kimberly got a Maserati. She saved $20,000. She got her lease, just to give you what her lease deal is, her Maserati was $91,761. That was the MSRP. Look, down payment, and this is in our private Facebook group, because not only do I have the book, but I have a video library, and then I coach a couple people who got the video library. Well, look, $91,761. Look, down payment, first month only, $944. So she's driving a $91,000 vehicle for $944. That vehicle normally, there are people who have that exact same car she's driving, and they're paying every $5,000 is $100 a month. They're paying $1,800 for it. So this is, I forgot how I asked. I forgot what question I was in. I know that was the answer, but I just forgot. It's so many questions popping up. That was the yes, it was about what about luxury brands. So that was the point. Doesn't matter. The principles that I'm teaching you are going to apply no matter what. You're buying, leasing, buying a used car, buying a new car, high mileage driver. You just want to move with strategy, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, let's go. We're cycling through all the platforms. So we're on 4 platforms. So keep the questions coming, and we're going to get through as many of them as we possibly can. Let me put this banner back up for those of you who want your 75% off. Some of you like Deshaun, I love the live, but I want everything in one spot. Let me get this book. All right, hold on. Let me put my banner. Let me get rid of the comment. Okay, is there a difference between a personal loan and an auto loan? Definitely. Yeah, the terms are usually different. A personal loan is usually going to come with a higher interest rate than an auto loan in most cases. Not all, but in most cases. For Facebook viewers, how do we pay for the book? Let me put a comment here for you. Let me know if y'all can click this, because sometimes Facebook does have issues seeing it. Let me know if y'all can click that link right here that says Deshaun's book. I just posted the comment. Let me know if y'all can see that. I don't know why it just went to TikTok. Let me post it here to it just went to YouTube. See if you can click that link that says Deshaun's book. If you can, give me the clearance that y'all can. Okay, just purchased the book. I'm ready to learn. Thank you, Adrian. Enjoy it, use it, and please report to me your success stories. All right, it's in there. It's everything you need step by step. Okay, how do you trade in? I have a 2016 Versa. I'm trying to trade it in, zero down. What do you suggest? Okay, so 2016, if you're going to keep your next car 8 years, we talked about that earlier, you need to outlive depreciation you're purchasing. If you're not keeping 8 years, then you should be shopping for an aggressive lease. Now, all you're going to do, first thing we do when we want to replace our car is equity assessment. Equity assessment. Find out what you owe, call your bank, get your payoff, and then go to the online car buyers. CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Carvana, AutoNation Sell My Car, Car Guru Sell My Car. That's a bid. That's 6 offers. As more companies come out, we'll add them to the bid. But the more, the better. That's 6 offers. You get it in about 20, 25 minutes. That's going to tell you your equity position. That's the first thing you do. Once you know your equity position, you know whether, am I making money selling my car, or do I have negative equity? That's the first step. Well, actually, the first step is, how many years are you going to keep the next car? The first step is always the leasing versus buying decision, because that's the foundation. First step is always leasing versus buying. If you get my book, everything you'll see, when you get to step 1, you'll see the most important question. That's where we start out. How many years are you keeping the next car? Because because what you're going to learn is, I have to plan for depreciation. If I'm keeping my car long enough to outlive depreciation, be like the people we talked about earlier who said, man, I had my car 16 years, I had my car 12 years, 10 years, they have outlived depreciation. It's not about payment. It's not about, is my car paid off? I paid cash for my cars. That's not about that. Your expense you don't see is the one you have to plan for, depreciation. So once you outlive depreciation, that if your goal is to outlive that 8, 10, 12 years, that's when we purchase. So that's the most important question. That's the first question. After you answer that question, then you move to the equity assessment if you have a car to replace. Okay? You got to do the equity assessment, because that's going to determine your next move. If you got a bunch of negative equity, then you have to move accordingly. I have that in my book. Some of you are going to have negative equity because you've been buying cars when you should have been leasing. So we have to deal with that. If you have a little bit of negative equity, that we have to deal with that. If you have positive equity, well, that either is going to go in your bank account, or it could go towards your next car purchase. So we must do equity assessment before anything. Leasing is much cheaper than buying. When you know how to get great leases, Smokey, you're absolutely right. And he said, I'll never buy a car again. Leasing, when you know how to get great lease deals, because some people, look, that's why I had to create the 1.5% rule, because there was no rule for when people were overpaying for their lease deal, which I don't like to use the word overpaying and deal in the same sentence, because it's not a deal. So, but when I created the 1.5% rule, a lot of people realized that they didn't get a good lease deal. But if you know how to get a good one, which is what I'm teaching, multiple offers, bids, when you see what you drive for what you pay, it's hard to do anything else. But again, if you're keeping your cars 8, 10, 12 years, then you should not be looking to lease. You should be shopping for your most aggressive purchase. Okay, the link worked on Facebook. Got the book. Congratulations, Tony. Enjoy it, use it, and please. And also, you'll see we're already almost 5. I hate to say we're almost 5 stars. I don't think you can get a lot of reviews and be all the way 5 stars. But so far we've gotten 31 rating. We're 4.94 on Goodreads.com. So I'm very grateful for those of you who have rated the book, reviewed the book. I'm very grateful for that. All right, let's keep it going. This one's YouTube. I'm going to wait to purchase your book, but I appreciate these live videos. They're helping me. Do what you feel is best. It's $24. Well, listen, you do what you feel is best. What about the mile restriction on a lease if you drive a lot? How do you shop for leases on that scene? So if you drive a lot, here's what you do. You always shop your offers with 12,000 miles per year. Now, some of you may have been taught they limit you on lease mileage. Who was told that, oh, you could only get 10,000 miles per year on a lease? That wasn't true. More bad information. You choose your mileage on a lease. You choose your mileage on a lease. So if you're driving 15,000 miles per year, that is what you're going to get. You do not sign. If you want to, when you see people that don't like leasing, it's usually for one or two reasons. They picked the wrong mileage, or they were very, very hard on their car and surprised when they got a bill. See, because another myth that they told you is when you lease, it has to be perfect. And I want to get some questions in here about used cars. We ask some questions about purchasing. It's just leasing why are people so interested in leasing? Because it's the subject that they have known the least about. So that's the reason why we get on these lives, and there's so many questions about leasing because it's been an unknown subject for so long and so much bad information. But when when you're choosing your mileage, you always want to shop your offers with 12,000 miles per year, so that you can judge the offers. But then when you find the dealer that wins the bid, they beat everybody else, then you adjust the mileage with them one-on-one. You tell them, I'm ready to do business with you. Can you adjust the lease to a 15,000 mile a year lease? Can you adjust it to 18,000 and show me what it is? Because at that point, you've gotten the biggest discount from them, and you can trust them when they adjust the mileage. They're not going to blow the deal because they've already worked hard to beat their competition. So then you adjust the mileage, and you'll see what it is. So that's how you do. Shop with 12, identify the winning dealer, and then have them adjust the mileage to what you need. And some of you may adjust down. You might go to 10, like you saw Kimberly. Her lease was 10,000 on hers. Some of you have you might want to do a low mileage lease, 7,500. Not everyone offers 7,500, but some brands do. But you always shop with 12. Why do they want to raise your payment according to the mileage? Victoria, because you're depreciating the car more. Listen, with a car, you're paying for depreciation. If you owned a car and you drove it, all right, let's say you own a car, you sit it in your driveway for a year. Is it worth what it's worth today, a year from now? Even if you don't drive it. You don't drive it 1 mile. Is it worth what it's worth today, a year from now? No. Now let's say you drive it 10,000 miles. It's worth less, right? It's worth less if you drive it 10,000 miles. Let's say you drive it 20,000 miles. It's worth less, right? But you own it. Doesn't matter. See what I'm saying? The lies that have been taught to you is you don't pay for your mileage because you own your car. That information is garbage. Not only is that information garbage, it's expensive. That's expensive information that you've been taught to believe. So when you lease, you pay for your mileage. When you own, you pay for your mileage. But for the short-term person who's not keeping their car 8 years, shopping for an aggressive lease deal is a hedge against depreciation. You're going to pay less for the mileage with an aggressive lease deal than you will as an owner. That's it. It's beautiful. And when you get this and start putting it into action, you're going to see. And then the first thing you're going to want to do is tell your family, tell your friend. Somebody on the live earlier was like, listen, I had a conversation with my family. They started barking at me when I started talking, but when I showed them the numbers, it was just like, because you can't deny it. You saw what Kimberly's paying. Look. You saw what Greg was paying for his car. Look at Tope. Tope got a $54,000 BMW electric, $690 a month. $54,000 BMW. People are paying every 5,000 is $100 a month. People paying $1,000, $1,100 for that same vehicle. She's paying $690. She got rid of the bad information. See what I'm saying? This is all in my book. If y'all like this, man, Deshaun, I just want everything you teach one spot, man. I'm ready. I want to move with this information for the rest of my life. Now the book's always going to be out, but it's a digital book. It's $97. That's the price. And I've sold a lot of them at $97. But when we got together and said, you know what, we're going to do an official launch. We're going to start really, really talking to people. Because from the day we came and started with this special, we already had a lot of reviews on Goodreads. So there was tons of people who in that first group who have been using this book and reviewing it. But our goal now is to say, all right, how can we help lots of people get this information? All right, we'll do a 75% off special for 30 minutes. Once that timer goes to 0, then it's back up to 97, which is still a great price. I'm not going to sit here and I wouldn't price the book at $200, $300, $400 because then my goal is not to help a lot of people. But $97, 100% fair price. $24, even better. So go get your 75% off as long as the timer isn't out. Let's go. Keep the questions coming. Elle said, hold on, let me get back to my screen. Let me put Tope's deal down. Hold on. Comments. Real Topic said, I got the book. It's amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Queen, the book is in. You can go to I posted the link. It's Deshaun'sBook.com. Just look for that comment and just click on Deshaun'sBook.com. It'll take you right there. You can get your copy. Okay. This one's Facebook. We're still taking questions from all the platforms. We'll probably go to Instagram next. My insurance company will, hold on, let me put my, here. Some of you may be watching on the TV, you could actually scan that QR code with your phone and you can get your 75% off your copy. All right, let me get back here. Elle said, I think it's Ellie. Yep, my insurance company will ask me my mileage when I renew my insurance policy and payment increases based on mileage that I drove, 100%. You pay for usage, doesn't matter. So the whole goal with a long-term purchase is I don't care about depreciation. Long-term. Some of you who got those cars outside and they've been out there for 8 years or 10 years or 12 years or longer, we have somebody 16 years, depreciation doesn't matter. You've won. I won. Depreciation was year 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that car is going to be worth about the same thing year by year. That's how you win, long-term buyer. But in the short term, you short-term buyers who are not getting to that 8-year mark, you're overpaying by not leasing because the depreciation is killing you. It's killing the value of the car you're purchasing, and then you go to trade out of it. All right, after pre-approval from different websites, what do I do from there? We don't do pre-approvals with a hard inquiry. We always do soft credit pre-approvals. We don't want to do hard credit we don't want to do hard inquiry pre-approvals because then we can't make these banks bid the way we want. Or you could, but you got to find your car in a hurry. Because when you do the hard credit pull, here's what happens. They give you a pre-approval, but it has an expiration date. I don't like pressure when I'm shopping for a car. I have people who are shopping. I was talking to somebody earlier on our coaching call. She's like, I'm retired. I teach you how to look at the market. When you have time is your friend. If some of you are like, Deshaun, you know what? I got 2, 3, 4 months before I need a car. That is an asset. I can help you. If you need a car in a week, I have to be able to give you the strategy to make sure you don't overpay. If I needed a car in a week, I get bids, make sure I don't overpay. But when you have the luxury of time, you can actually watch the market because the lease deals change every month. The trends on used cars, for those who are shopping for used cars, prices change every month. The trends change. You can see if the prices are going down. You can see the dealers who have been. Time is your friend. Rebates change every month. And so I don't like a pre-approval that says, hey, you got to find a car by this date. And if I don't find a car by this date, now I got to come back and do another hard inquiry, which is going to drop my credit score more. We don't want that. So we don't do a hard inquiry until after we found our car. Once we find our car, we get a purchase order. We leave a deposit to lock up the car. It's refundable. We always make sure when you leave a deposit, you always have the deposit, very important verbiage on the buyer's order, deposit refundable if car is not delivered. This replay will be on YouTube if you want to see the replay. Or you can get the book and you won't need a replay. But you put that on, and then you come home and you let your bank, your credit union, all the online banks, you type in online car loan, anybody in your area, you let all these people access your credit. That's when you do the hard pull, because you started the bidding process. I call this the bank bidding war. Now you're going to let all those people run your credit. It's going to show as one hard inquiry at the end of the window. But here's what you do. When whoever wins that round of the bids, you then call the dealer and you want them to have a shot. Hey, the best rate I got so far was 6.29. But if you guys can beat it, I'll do the deal with you. See, that's how you get around the dealers who don't want to sell you a car if you're not going to give them a chance at the rate business. We give them a chance, because the best thing to have is a dealer, a finance manager they've already won your bid to sell you the car, but now he's calling 5 or 6 or 10. Some of these dealerships have 10 to 15 banks, and they're calling them to try to beat the rate you got. See, they can't come back to you. If you told them I got 6.29, they're not calling you back and saying, all right, I got you 8%. They're going to call you and say one of two things. Hey, listen, I tried my best. I looked at all my banks. I can't beat that rate. You got a good rate. So, just, go with your bank, and then, let's schedule the delivery. That's one option, one outcome. Or they're going to say, hey, good news. I got you. I beat the rate. I got this bank to beat the rate. So I can do all the paperwork here for you. In which case, they just saved you money. So you've guaranteed. Y'all know what we call this. Who knows what we call the process of guaranteeing we paid the lowest? Let me see. It's a couple people that might have been on here on a couple of live streams. I know we got a lot of new people, but who knows what we call the process of guaranteeing that we got the lowest price? Price assurance. Price assurance. When you buy a TV, you want price assurance. That means there's no chance in heaven that this TV was less money somewhere else. Price assurance. All right? That's the bank bidding war. That's how we do it. So that's your answer, babyface. Whether you got the pre-approval or not, that's the process of how you're going to end up choosing who gives you your loan and who you go with for your loan. Okay? All right, let's keep them coming. 1.5% rule. You got to type a whole question. You can't type like a incomplete phrase. All right, how do you get 75% off? I go to the site and it's still showing $97. That means you missed the countdown. Sydney. All right, listen. I love the commitment, everybody. I'm gonna put a special link here. And I had to create this because this was happening a lot. And I know it's people on here that's like, man, I want the book and I want it at the 75%. So I created this emergency link. All right, I'm posting it here. If you missed the countdown, go to that link. 10 minutes. You'll see there's a countdown there. Like, don't miss it again. All right, Adrian, when you get your book, you see a support email, just email support or DM me, because usually what happens is a letter in the email was just typed incorrectly. You see the countdown, sometimes you're typing fast. We deliver lots of these books. So if it's not in your, make sure you check your spam though. Check your spam as well. Okay, do you offer service where you do all the shopping? I don't, because it's not necessary. It's not necessary. I'd rather teach you to fish. Anybody shopping for you does not help you at all because you don't understand. You don't know if you got the best offer. You're just putting a 30 to 50 to $100,000 transaction in someone else's hands because you're a little nervous. You could be nervous, but that's not financially wise to do. So even with me, all right, what I'm teaching you is a process where you sit at home and you're in control. It's not like, oh, I hope this will work. That's like saying, oh, I hope going into I don't want to overpay for the spaghetti sauce. All right, go into the supermarket, look at 7 brands of spaghetti sauce. You ain't gonna overpay for it. I don't want to overpay for I got to get an 80-inch TV. I'm so worried I'm gonna overpay for it. You look at enough 80-inch TVs all over the internet, you're gonna guarantee you don't overpay for it. So what we teach is the same process. Multiple offers online, you can't mess it up. You can't mess it up. The book link, if you're on TikTok, is just click that picture of me and you'll see a website there, carsfromhometoolkit.com. Click that website. And then when you go there, there's a button that says get the book 75% off. And you won't leave the broadcast if you're on TikTok. You'll actually still hear the broadcast. All right. Let's see. Come on, keep them coming. This is a great group. I love the questions. And let's go. What about test driving cars? Good question. This one's on YouTube. So test driving cars is different depending on if you're shopping for a new car or a pre-owned car. If you're shopping for a new car or a lease, we're always test driving the car before we get offers on it. Always. Because we need to see if we like it. We're test driving in a way where no one's pressuring us, because here's a rule that you don't break. You don't talk numbers in the dealership. You do not talk numbers in the dealership at all. If you're talking numbers in the dealership, you could just give yourself a signal. I'm not following John's way. And you're a grown person. So, but I want you to have these boundaries so that you know, okay, wait, I'm going back to the old way. Now, what am I doing here? You're just here to test drive. And then once you decide, you know what, we like this vehicle. I like you to, if you're leasing, find 2 to 3 that you like, because we don't know what the lease program is going to be. And what you'll find is if you get out there, see, this is such a fun process when you do it my way, because none of these people, y'all, they've kind of made you scared to go in and test drive. But when you know you're not talking numbers, you're going to enjoy it. So you go in, you test drive, you get out of there in 20 minutes. In fact, in my book, I have a section in step 4. I call it shopping, not buying, where I give you the script. There's a particular way I like you to set up the test drive. I like you to call the dealership, ask for the person who's been there the longest, ask for the person that everybody loves, set up the test drive with them. Because if you get that new salesman who's new on the block or he doesn't care about people, he'll tell you, all right, I'll have a car, I'll meet you here. You'll get there and then there's no car ready for you. Oh, the car's sold. Let me show you something else. So you want to, who you talk to is important when you're setting up your test drive. But that's what you do for a new car. Used car, it's different. Used car, we're shopping online, and the test drive is the last part. Because it does you no good to go test drive a car and then go, you're not getting that car. Yeah, I could go drive one used Honda, but then the one that ends up being the best deal, it may not drive the same. So we don't test drive a used car. That's our last step before we shake their hand. So like my used Infiniti. I got an Infiniti truck about a year ago, shopped online, found the best one with the biggest discount, and the biggest discount off the brand new price. Hint, hint, clue, clue. When you are shopping for a used car, you're not searching for the biggest discount from the dealer. You're searching for the used car that gives you the biggest discount from the original price when it was new. Type $, because I'm going to say that again. And then I'll tell you all about how I got this Infiniti and the process of the test drive. The dealer discounting is secondary to you actually finding out what the brand new price was and finding out how much discount you're getting from the brand new price. If a car was $42,000, this is how many people got in trouble all through the pandemic, because they were paying prices for used cars that were so close to the new car price. If they had just been taught to look at the new car price, how much was this car when it was new? 32,000. Okay, how are you charging me 31? So how you know a great discount on a used car is that discount. Okay. Also in my book, everything you're going to hear me teach, that's not going to change. I call that the true value percentage. True value percentage, TVP. It's the percentage off based on the original new car price versus what you're offering me. So once I did that, I saw which one, outside of looking at the title, looking at the service records, looking at the accidents. Once I saw the biggest discount off the new, I went there, test drove it, shook the hand. I asked him, "Hey, could you do another $800 or $1,000 off?" He said, "Listen, look, I could do another 500." Shook his hand, locked it up. Guaranteed price assurance. Because if I had picked the other Infiniti, here's the kicker. The other Infiniti, I narrowed it down to top 4, but the others were, the brand new price was 46, brand new price was 48, brand new price was 52. This one that I got, brand new price was 54,500. And when I did the discount, it was a 42% discount. The other ones were a lower discount. So although the price on those other ones might seem lower, it wasn't as much discount. So it wasn't as good of a deal. See, market value, throw that out the window. We don't care about market value. When you're shopping for a used car, that's what you care about. True value percentage. All right. But that's how we test drive, depending on whether buying a new car or leasing a new car or buying a used car. All right. Great question. Great question. All right. Will we be a car expert after reading your book? Yeah. In the beginning, my first book, I wrote a lot. It was more of, my first book was called The 52 Car Buying Questions Smart People Don't Ask. I wrote that in July 2021. That book is still rated 5 stars on Goodreads.com. The reason why I changed it is because it wasn't step by step. It was very much, you said that was deep, bro. Listen, I preach, this is this, and I've 2006 I got in the car business. So I could do this stuff in my sleep. So anybody that's willing to listen, anybody who's willing to take what I'm telling them, I hold myself accountable to making sure you win. So see, I can't read comments and talk. What was I talking about? Sometimes I'll be in the middle of a sentence, I'll look up at a comment and it'll throw me off. What was I just talking about? Somebody tell me. Hold on. Hold on. Anybody? I was talking about the book. Oh, thank you. Yep, thank you. Yes. So yeah, it wasn't step by step. So somebody asked if we use your book, will we be a car expert? That was the goal of the first book. I was trying to turn people into me. I wanted you to know everything I know. I had stuff about the banks and the different ways things are set up. And again, if you type in the 52 Car Buying Questions, it's not available anymore, you'll see that book was rated 5 stars. People loved it. People used it. But I said to myself, I could put a better book out there because I don't want you to be me. Look, you're not interested in being me. Here's what you're interested in. Deshaun, teach me how to get the deals you get. I don't need to know everything you know. I don't need the 14 years of experience. What I need to know is, how do I get the same deal you would get? And that's when I said, okay, we got to go step by step. And then we got to cut out all the extra education and we're going to learn by doing. I'm not going to teach you. And I said to myself, what would I tell you if you called me and said, Deshaun, I need a car. What's my first step? Boom, I would ask you this question. And based on your answer, we go to the next step. And I just did that through the book because I was doing that for years. When I sold cars from Mercedes, I used to tell my friends, call me, because I was worried about them. Like my first friend that I saw that got a crazy, horrible deal, right? I said, why didn't you call me? He said, well, that was when I worked for GM, quite honestly. I saw a couple of people getting bad deals, but they thought because I sold General Motors, yeah, Deshaun, I want to buy. And it happened more with Mercedes. It happened a whole lot more. I started getting less calls from my friends because they're like, D, man, I know you with Mercedes, man. I didn't want to bother you with my thing, man. I was just looking for a Nissan. I'm like, no, this is bad. So I started saying, listen, anytime, just call me, please. So I would be walking them, coaching them, and everything that I would do, I just put in the second book. That's why it became step by step by step and less about a bunch of education. It just like, Deshaun, just tell me what to do. I don't need to know the education of why I'm doing this. Leasing versus buying, I do have an educational video in the book that you link to, and it educates you on leasing versus buying. But the rest is just do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Take the guesswork out. So great question, though. I'm glad you asked that. So for everybody that just jumped on, people who are asking about the book, it's my new digital book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's 75% off as part of our not grand opening, our book launch, and 75% off for 30 minutes. So if you go to my TikTok bio, if you want to get it, it's normally $97, but you can get it. It'll be in your inbox in 2 or 3 minutes. Go to my TikTok bio, click that picture of me, and you'll see a website there. Click it, and then click the button that says get my book for 75% off. Okay, it's everything I teach you. Now, here's the thing. I'm not holding back. Y'all been on here long enough with me to know this guy is not holding back. You ain't asking me a question, and then I'm like, well, if you want to know, get the book. Like that's not how I do. But I just know that some of you are like, I want everything in one spot so that I can reference it. For those of you that's you, go to my Instagram bio, get your copy, go to Deshaun's book, or you can scan the QR code, Deshaun'sBook.com, or scan the QR code. All right, it's so many people still on here. We can keep this thing going for a little bit longer because it's just a lot of y'all on here right now. So let's go. Where's the special link for the 75% off? In my TikTok bio. Let's go. Hold on. I go to Instagram. We haven't done one on Instagram in a while. Instagram, y'all looking for a 2018 Escalade. I think they were 78,000. You want to look at that. You don't know if that one's overpriced. Don't fall in love with one used car. Do not fall in love with one used car ever. The only way you know that a used car is great is when you saw the whole market. I look at least 100 miles because how often do we buy a car? Every how many years, y'all? Every how many years, you fill in the blank, do we buy a car? Charlotte, just DM me, okay? I'll look for you specifically. I can't see DMs because we just hit 2 million followers across all these platforms. But if I know because I don't want to put the support email here. Support emails for people who got the book and you maybe, it's not in your email, it's not in your spam, because usually one letter was off in the email. So just DM me. All right, so you're buying a car. Look at these numbers, y'all. Every 4 years, every 7 years, every 5 years, every 9 years. The reason why you are hold on 1 second. No. Okay, my fault. My fault. All right. I forgot what question I was answering. Like, I'm so busy looking at all these platforms. Y'all just gotta help me out because I'm literally going off the top, and I'll literally look at a question on Instagram, start talking about it. I can't look at the screens and answer the question. So as the new people come on, if you see me answering a question, just wait until I finish that answer, then post your question. Because if I look at it, especially we're an hour and 20 minutes in. So hour and 20 minutes in. We'll go for another 10 minutes because y'all can see this is what happens to me. All right, I'm showing full price. Just DM me. DM me. I can't send you a link. I can't post it to TikTok in the comments. But DM me if you missed the countdown. It's showing a $97 price. DM me and I'll send you this emergency link that I posted to Facebook and TikTok. All right, let's go. How often do we buy a car? Yep, and that was the question, but I asked that question for a reason based off a question someone else had asked. Yeah, I asked that question for a reason. I usually look at getting rid of a car after 225,000 miles. There you go. Use it up. Use it up. Use it up. Is Skoda Kodiaq Sportline a good family car? That's a question for, listen, very important, y'all. If you ever want to know, is this car a good car? Is this car a bad car? Don't ask people, not even me, because we don't have enough information. There's not enough data, because I might say, yeah, I like that car. Meanwhile, there's 10,000 people. That car has probably been sold to thousands and thousands of people. And there might be 10,000 of them out there that's having a problem with it. 10,000 of them out there where it's having electrical problems. How do we find that out? Every single car you want to look at, if I don't care what car, I don't care if you love it. If you don't do this, you could end up hating it. You go to Google and you type in the year. You have to add the year, because sometimes the 2019 was trash, but the 2020 they fixed it and it's great. So you always add the year and you type in the year, make and model, 2019, Kia, whatever, initial quality. There's 3 terms that you need to know. 2 are for short-term people who lease, and 2 are for long-term people who purchase. Those of you who lease, you want to type in the year, make, and model, initial quality. Initial quality is a report of what people are saying about the car the first 90 days. Because cars coming right off the line. Sometimes it's the day they're built. They come in, they go out the dealership, and in a month they're back in the dealership, in the service department. Initial quality. Initial quality is also going to tell you what people are saying about it. Is the car easy to use? Like first 90 days, what are the people saying? What's the data showing? After you do that, and look, when you type that into Google, you don't need to go to the second page. A bunch of articles are going to come up. What you do is you skim them and you just look for any red flags, any bright lights. If you see anything that's alarming in those first couple articles, reliability score 7 out of 10. Anything, initial quality score 7 out of 10. This vehicle ranks lower than most. That's red flags. And your love for that vehicle is going to start to subside. You're going to be like, dang, I really like this, but it don't like you. You know what I'm saying? A car could, if a car's going to be in the shop every 90 days, it doesn't like its owner. So after you do the initial quality, you replace the word initial quality with reliability. This is for short-term people. You do not lease a car before you type this into Google. Every single car takes 5 minutes. After you do initial quality, you do reliability. Reliability is going to tell you what the people are saying for the first 3 years, which is the average lease. That's your lease term. So once you look at those 2, skim the same pages, look for red flags, it passes, now you can go get offers on that car. For those of you who are going to be buying, you're going to look at reliability and you're going to look at longevity. Type in the year, make, model, longevity. Right at the top, you might see something that says this car is known to last 200 to 300,000 miles when you maintain it. Good sign. You might see owners report transmission problems as the car ages. Red flag. There you go. Thanks for posting it. I see somebody posted initial quality, reliability, longevity. The first 2 are for short-term people who lease. The last 2 are for long-term people who are purchasing. So don't ask anybody their opinion on it doesn't even matter, because it's subjective. Somebody says, hey, you like that car? Yeah, man, I love it. It's so comfortable. You might get in and be like, what are they talking about? I hate this thing. It's so uncomfortable. So people's opinions don't matter. Go to the data. That's how you protect yourself. All right. Does that make sense? That's how you protect yourself. Okay. Just check your spam, babyface. And when you purchase the book, y'all, the first thing I give you is a support email. First thing. Congratulations, the book is on its way to your email. If it's not in your email in 10 minutes, email support right here. All right. So if you didn't, go back, screenshot that, and then go back and if you missed it, then just DM me. If you're on you can't DM me if you're on YouTube. Check your spam. But let me see. I can't even send you a private message. So see. Just do me a favor and go to another platform, I guess Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, any of those three, and just send me a DM. But when you get your book, y'all, screenshot the support email, because when you go to your email, check your inbox and check your spam. That book's going to be there unless there's a letter off. And most times you're typing fast, and there's a letter off. So, all right. I have about 9 months left on your lease. This one's TikTok. We've been taking questions for everybody from every platform. I have 9 months left on my lease, and I'm about to go over miles. What should I do? 9 months left? Do an equity assessment. Jackie, equity assessment. Call your bank. In fact, go to YouTube, watch the rebroadcast, unless you have my book. Equity assessment. You need to know, can you sell that lease and get out clean? But don't be in a hurry to make a move. Mileage penalties are not big in the beginning. If you're going over by a couple $100, you're talking about very small penalties, but you want to do an equity assessment. You want to call your leasing company, find out how much you owe. That's called a payoff. And then you're going to go to CarMax. You're going to go to, this replay will be up on YouTube. So if we talked about this. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, Sell My Car, and Car Guru, Sell My Car. That's 6 offers. We get bids for everything. Those of you who've been here, you know that. When you get those bids, because we don't trade cars, when you get those bids, it's going to tell you what your equity position is. If all those bids are below your payoff, then your only shot of you're comparing that to getting out early, but you don't want to get out early because you got a lot of payments left. You might want to go a little longer, wait till you have fewer payments left. But the first thing to do is do the equity assessment, because most times that's the best way to move. I can sell out of this thing early, and I'll just start shopping for my lease now and sell this vehicle. Okay, and if you didn't know you could sell a lease, you can. So we've been talking about that. But go to YouTube, catch the replay, or you could get my book. It's 75% off. It's in my TikTok bio, and you could turn right to the section on equity assessment. It's step 2. There's 3 kinds of equity assessment, y'all. One of them is for those of you who have cars that are paid off or have a loan on them. The second is for those who have a lease. No third-party restriction. You're with a company like Toyota Financial, you're with Chase, there's several leasing companies where you could just sell to the highest bidder. And then the third equity assessment is for people who have a third-party restriction. So you're going to get your online offers, and then you're going to sell to a local dealer, whoever wins the bid. Because a third-party restriction does not mean you can't sell your lease. It's very important. It doesn't mean you buy the car and then resell it. When you buy the car, you pay taxes. That's money going. When you buy the car, you pay fees. Money going. A third-party restriction just limits who you can sell to. A third-party restriction means you must sell to a local dealer. That doesn't mean you walk into the dealer you bought it from and say, hey, all right, I'm going to sell it to you. No. We have a conversation. I have a script in my book. We talk to the used car manager. And we're talking to several used car managers, and we're seeing who's going to pay the most for the car. Because the thing about leases, they're very, very new. They're 2 to 3 years old. So every single used car manager in America wants to buy these cars. So we get bids, and that's how we sell our cars with a third-party restriction, because we avoid the fees. We don't have to pay taxes. We don't have to pay fees. Those of you who might have heard of people who bought and resold, I would never do it. again, why would I want to pay taxes? 3,000-4,000 in taxes, 2,000 in taxes plus fees. It comes out of my equity, comes out of my profit. All right. Thank you, Gilly Gill. Good to see you again. My man Gilly Gill checking in. That's my guy. I love it. All right. Listen, y'all, this was a long one. We just hit an hour and a half. Great show. I'm gonna have something in my bio by next week that's going to link you to a calendar so you will be able to monitor when I'm live. So you'll be able to see, all right, Sean will be live Tuesday, 12. You'll be able to add it to your calendar so you can meet us here. But this is what I love. I love that we probably had collectively, I look when I closed the live, we probably had 800-900 people come through here in the last hour and a half. I hope you guys got value. Everybody got value out of the live show. Type dollar signs if everybody got value. This is the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing. I want you to be able to get these questions answered. I want you to be able to have access to great information that is going to keep money in your household. All right. Everything that I teach, you're going to see. For those, like, my book has everything I teach. My videos on social media we put out probably, I don't know how many videos we put out. Everything that you're going to see on the live, you're going to say, yeah, I remember you saying that in a video. Everything you see in my book, you're going to see, wow, I remember him saying that in a video. So the information doesn't change. It's just, how do you want to get it? If you want it all in one spot, you get the book. If you want to go through the social media videos, now, only thing about that you got to know is those social media videos are for all different kinds of people. They're for every one of you on here. Some of you are high mileage drivers. Videos for y'all. Some of you are going to be leasing. Videos for y'all. Some of you are going to sell a lease. There's videos for y'all. Some of you are going to buy a used car. There's videos for y'all. So if you want to go through all my social media videos, you'll find the strategy, but you got to piece it together. The book has everything in a step-by-step way. That's why it's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And it's step by step. Step 1, you start out here. Step 7 is delivery, which means if you got my book, you shouldn't be reading step 7 unless you're picking up your car. You shouldn't be reading step 7. Step 7 in my book, I'm saying, congratulations, great job. You did the process. You got your deal. Now let's get ready for delivery. You shouldn't be reading that unless that's the way the book is designed. It's not this book you just read all the way through and you're like, wow, that was good. No, by the time you get to step 7, your car should be outside, or you should be on your way to pick up the car. Does that make sense? So as part of the book launch, we're doing 75% off. If you haven't missed the countdown yet, you can get your copy. It's a digital book, and you'll also get free updates. So you don't have to worry about Deshaun. What about when things change? What about when the market changes? What about when new websites come out? I'm on top of all of that. And what happens is I go in, I update the file of the book. You open up the book. You're going to literally be opening up the book and seeing, wait a minute, something changed. Yeah. Wait, I remember this script. Oh, wait, I remember the websites here. This is a new website. It wasn't here before. That's the beautiful thing about having a digital book. When I update the master file, you click that link and you get the new version. That's how we make sure we're always ahead of everybody else. That's how we make sure we're always on top of it. So it's normally $97. You can go to my TikTok bio, get yours. You can click on the, you can go to Deshaun'sBook.com. I'm going to post the link one more time in Facebook. Here you go. You can go to this link. And I'm going to post it again in YouTube. Everybody who if you missed the 75% off, I'm going to post, this is a special link. And then anybody on TikTok, just DM me and I'll get you the special link if you missed the countdown. But the new special link is only going to be good for 10 minutes. But other than that, I see you just got yours. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Wright. I appreciate y'all. We'll be back. We'll keep these live shows going. And this was a good one. This was a real good one. All right. I'll see y'all soon.